you doing?
I'm trying to stretch our retirement savings.
I don't think it works that way.
You're right. Plastic money is really hard to stretch. Hi again, everybody, and welcome to Retirement SOS. I'm Ernie.
And I'm Beth.
And today we're going to talk about simple ways that you can implement to make your retirement savings last longer. And really, there are no secrets to making your retirement savings last longer, but there's a series of simple measures that you can take that should help. So the first thing that you should do is to justify and review your expenses. Remember, debt is your enemy, but sometimes it's not quite feasible eliminating all debt, especially if you're carrying a mortgage or a car payment.
If you're carrying a small mortgage into retirement, it's not the end of the world because after all, your house is your biggest asset. For our American friends, their mortgage interest is tax deductible, which is really nice. However, if your mortgage is less than $100,000, that benefit may be minimal.
And looking back, when I retired, I didn't quite make that goal of retiring without debt, but I came very, very closely because I still had 5 car payments to go. But now the car is fully paid for, and I have this theory now when I buy a car, and that is, my new mantra is that I'll pay my car off in 4 to 5 years. And because the quality of cars has improved so much, there's no use trading them in after 3 or 4 or 5 years. I've decided now to keep mine for 10.
What about mine? Mine's hitting that mark.
We'll talk about that later.
The interest on credit cards is prohibitive and can really have a negative effect on your retirement finances. The last thing you want to be doing is paying off a purchase that you made 9 months ago on top of 20% interest to the bank.
Especially when you're in your 60s. That just isn't really
exactly.
feasible.
If you do have credit card debt, try and tackle that. Try and get that paid down as soon as possible. And one more tip is to streamline the number of credit cards you have. I don't think anybody needs more than just one, and that way it's easy to track your spending too.
Absolutely. And another thing that you can do is to review your discretionary expenses. And these are the ones that you have full control over. So I'll give you a couple of examples. So example number 1, do you really need to order food in 3 times a week?
Once in a while, everybody needs a break from cooking, but maybe not 3 times a week.
Yeah, that gets pretty expensive. And another example is, when you're shopping around for a hotel, do you really need to stay in that luxury hotel? I think not. I think there are some pretty good mid-size or mid-priced hotels that we've stayed at and have been happy with.
You have to do your research, but you could certainly find economical places to stay.
So the bottom line is, all you have to do is keep your eye on the prize, because leveraging your expenses will allow you to stretch your retirement income further. I mean, that's the law of economics. It makes sense, correct?
So, of course, the most obvious and easiest solution to stretching your dollar in retirement is to work. So if you're retired, you could re-enter the workforce, maybe on a part-time basis. If you haven't retired yet, you can continue to work, maybe for another year. For example, in Canada, 54% of seniors have delayed their retirement this year and are working longer. So it depends on your work situation. Maybe you can go down part-time. There's a real need for skilled labor. So working is the most obvious option to either tackle debt or stretch your finances for a little longer.
So the last simple thing that you can do to make your retirement savings last longer is start an emergency fund. And we know from experience. When I retired, during the first 6 months of that retirement, we ran into a lot of unexpected expenses that we didn't budget for. And that just put our budget out of whack. And we were spending money way faster than we had anticipated.
So what we've done since then is set up an emergency fund. So because I still work part-time, about 40% of my net pay will go into the bank, a separate bank account, and it builds, and it's there in case of emergency. Just recently, we had a lot of rain, and we had a little leak on our roof through our skylight, and we needed some money, and it was there. So it really does come in handy, and it just means that you don't always have to dip into your retirement savings or, worse, get in debt to make these small little repairs or emergencies that pop up.
Once again, don't underestimate the importance of an emergency fund. Because just like us, I can almost guarantee that sometime during those first few years of retirement, you're going to get an unexpected expense, and it's going to come out of the blue. So be proactive and start one immediately. And there's also an intangible benefit to having no debt in retirement, and that is peace of mind. You're going to sleep so much better when you don't owe anything to anyone.
We hope we've given you some good tips on extending your retirement savings, especially now during these inflationary times. Thanks again for watching. So until next time.
Bye for now.